Hey, Shalom, Kahala, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rachavadosh, the ones of the apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to you brothers in the highways and byways, doing the work sincerely and faithfully, and continually fighting that good fight of faith. Lord willing, we have found that number to be delivered. All right, so I'm doing a little bit of a different intro here. If you see, we have a bunch of lions on the screen, and due to the fact that YouTube has been cutting my channels and clipping my videos left and right. So, usually you kind of jump right in, play a little clips and what have you. So I figured I'd just play a couple clips while I do the introduction, which then will, not trigger an algorithm of, some of the things that we've been speaking about in these last days, primarily the MOTB and all these other variants of different types of pestilences that have been, going around. All right, but I'm gonna say a few things as well. You have a lot of people out there who are mixing and mingling themselves with a bunch of bullshit, straight up bullshit. All right, and primarily what I'm thinking of is these guys called the Blitz Crew or the Blitz or whatever. And at the end of the day, if you want to go out and try to expose people, that's your business. But when the rubber truly meets the road, man, my question to you people is, what are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? Because I'm going to say, and I speak as a man when I say this, I believe a good 90% of you people are going to take that MOTB. Because you are fighting for nothing, man. You have nothing on the line that's gonna say to you, it's either all or nothing. We here at Great Millstone and many other brothers out there who truly understand what the hell's going on, we're going by what the Lord said. All right? We fear Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. The Lord said, don't take that shit, then we ain't gonna take it. Period. But a lot of you cats out here, you're going to jump right on board because you have nothing to lose or fight for. All right? So with that being said, I'm going to get into the clip that a couple clips that I really want to play concerning, the times and the things that are going to be coming to pass and what's happening. It's about to get real out here, man. And for all those who took that jab, and for all those, who talk shit, if you've taken the jab, chances are you're going to take the MOTB. You're going to take that grain of rice. All right? So without further ado, let me play my clip. And as I've been saying for a while now, I've been, opening up with this clip concerning the National Government Summit, where Piper Rundring has, spoke about the changing of the currency, if you will. But there's another video that's going to trail that, which I kind of merged together, and just listen to the words of what's being said, because it's all starting to happen, man. It's all starting to come together, and it's now starting to make sense. All right, so let me play this video real quick. You brothers know what it is, man. This is one of my favorites.
What underpins a world order is always the financial system. I was very privileged. My father was an advisor to Nixon when they came off the gold standard in '71, and so I was brought up with a kind of inside view of how very important the financial structure is to absolutely everything else. And what we're seeing in the world today, I think, is we're on the brink of a dramatic change where we are about to, and I'll say this boldly, we're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one. And the new accounting is what we call blockchain. It means digital. It means having almost...
Okay, you hear what she said. It means digital. All right? So when the next video plays, listen closely to what the woman is saying. All right?
Perfect record of every single transaction that happens in the economy, which will give us far greater clarity over what's going on. It also raises huge dangers in terms of the balance of power between states and citizens. In my opinion, we're going to need a digital constitution of human rights if we're going to have digital money. But also, this new money will be sovereign in nature. Most people think that digital money is crypto and private, but what I see are superpowers introducing digital currency. The Chinese were the first. The US is on the brink, I think, of moving in the same direction. The Europeans have committed to that as well. And the question is, will that new system of digital money and digital accounting accommodate the competing needs of the citizens of all these locations so that every human being has a chance to have a better life? Because that's the only measure of whether a world order really serves.
I really admire your page, and I admire the thorough research that you do. No, they're not blood clots. And what I'm about to say is going to sound really crazy, but I trust you will look into it. Look into intrabody nano network administered through facts. Just type in those keywords. Then look into transhumanism. Then look into the Internet of Bodies. Then look into how the Internet of Bodies is going to tie into and become the foundation of this new digital financial system that's coming. And then it's all going to make sense.
You hear that? She also now elaborated on the digital financial system that's coming. All right? So there's no doubt about it, man. There's truly no doubt about what's about to go down. All right? And I believe we are closer. They are closer than ever to fully rolling this bad boy out, man. You know?
It is self-assembling nanotechnology for the purpose of creating a carbon nanotube network within the human body to make the human body a device that can eventually be linked into the Internet of Bodies. It is biotechnology created through the manipulation of lipids with polyethylene glycol pegylation. Polyethylene glycol is one of the components that can be used to make hydrogel. And after the self-assembling nano network is administered in the human body, along with nanosensors, which is what those round modulars that people are finding, the next step is a form of a chip, which will probably come in the form of like a quantum dot tattoo that will be initiated for the usage within the digital financial system that is coming. But once
so that whole tattoo stuff, we understand it's charagma. All right.
That chip is put in place with the intrabody nano network, that will be the authentication and individualization of every human body that has this technology within it, the network and the chip, making them all devices linked into the Internet of Bodies. The psychological, biological, genetic, and physiological data from every single individual will be what backs the new financial system. Information is the new gold. And all of the data being harvested no longer requires permission or notification from anyone that took this jab, because they are now GMOs, which is a product owned by a corporation. The head of that corporation is BlackRock. I know what I'm saying sounds crazy, but I would invite you to look into
it. All right. So there you have it. Now, I truly believe, man, that a lot of you people who have received the stick, the poke, whatever you want to call it, are going to end up, in a real bad situation. We've been saying this for, a few years now. But rest assured that when they start rolling this bad boy out, a lot of you people are going to succumb to the effects of what this is going to do to one's body. And keep in mind, this is all for educational purposes only. All right? It ain't to prove the fact of the matter. It's just for educational purposes only. Right? And I truly believe, again, that all those who've taken that stuff, at the end of the day, if you know somebody, if one of the brothers, if you brothers know somebody that have taken it, and they went all out and did all four, however many it was, I believe the Lord is gonna use those people as certain types of sacrifices for us. Some of these people are gonna be, able to, provide food for us, be a aid unto us, to give us that, ability to get some food or what have you. I mean, why? It makes sense, man. It makes sense that the Lord would do something like that anyway. You know. So that's just, like I said, I speak as a man when I say that. It ain't proven, but to me it just makes sense. All right, so let's go from there. Go back here. This is Habakkuk 2:5. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desires as hell, and his death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all peoples. All right, and this is why the scripture says that no man may buy or sell except he that have the mark. All right, this is going to be another fashion of how they're going to heap to themselves all nations and all peoples. All right, they're going to have everybody under subjection outside of, the hopeful elect. You cats out there who are bullshitting, talking shit, and have been talking shit. Like I said, what are you going to do? All right. We put our lives on the line through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai Shai, knowing that our Redeemer, if Lord will, redeems us up first, if we succumb to any of this bullshit. But you people, you ain't fighting for shit. You ain't got nothing to fight for. So why even give any kind of resistance when it comes down to it? All right? You ain't gonna resist. You talk a lot of shit now, but I believe when that time comes, a lot of you people is gonna get right in line and follow suit. And then when they start putting people to death, then you're gonna see that and you're like, oh shit, I'm just gonna go ahead and take that thing. All right? But once again, this is how he's going to heap to himself all nations and all people. They're all going to fall under that umbrella. Whereas that grain of rice is going to be the time of, a time of reckoning for a lot of people. When they first introduced the jab, and they put the threats out there, you're going to lose your jobs, and if you don't have this and that, and you ain't going to be able to get paid. A lot of people thought about their mortgage, they thought about their feeding their family, and a lot of people took it. And likewise, when they implement this grain of rice, they're going to pose at first, and then they're going to get downright nasty and force it on you. All right? But it's all coming full circle. Psalms 2:1 says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? All right? And ultimately, their thought process is to truly rule the whole world, control and dominate the whole world. All right? That's their ultimate goal. To cancel out the Yahweh Shai, put themselves in the seat of Yahweh Shai, and to rule. All right? But that is a vain thought, that you're going to just outdo the Lord and and put his people in subjection until and forever. This shit ain't going down like that. But this is what the heathens are doing, starting with the Edomites. All right? And they're gonna have conflict amongst themselves after this third world's war. Who's gonna be in power? Who's gonna be the leading nation? Because at the end of the day, America's gonna be slated to be destroyed. But you still gonna have Edomites on the other side of the world with that pride, thinking they're big and bad. All right, but their time is coming to an end, and rightfully so. All right, so let me jump down, because the lady said in the video, towards the end of that video, she said that the people are now GMOs, owned by a company called Blackwater, I think it was. We'll look it up. But be that as it may, so I went and did a little looking, and the first question here, people also ask, and there's a drop down: are humans GMOs? Question mark. So let's read that. It says, an important point to note about GMOs, in that it is the case of humans, even if they have undergone genetic modifications as a result of, for example, gene therapy, they are not regarded as GMOs in the HSE's legislation. All right, so HSE. So we can drop down for a second. What are GMOs / HSE? All right, so HSC stands for Health Safety Executive. Now, it's because of these people right here that human beings aren't considered GMOs. Because of these people. All right? So it just takes for one organization to determine whether or not you are a genetically modified person, even though, you've been duped into having, as the description here says, even if they have undergone genetic modifications as a result of, for example, gene therapy. All right. Once you receive that jab, the process of gene therapy, if you will, has begun. All right. But HSE is like, nope, you're not considered a GMO. Continuing on, it says a GMO, that is a plant or an animal, can be referred to as a larger GMO, and the acronym is LGMO, larger GMO, genetically modified organisms. All right, and this is exactly what they're doing with the nanotechnology, the transhumanism. All right, you're about to be cyborgs that has zero control over your thought process, over your bodily functions. They're gonna be able to shut you down in just a click of a button or flip of a switch. All right, and then it gets into whether or not genetically modified foods are good for the human body, this, that, and the third. Once again, another people also ask, what organisms are genetically modified? And it says a genetically modified organism, GMO, is an animal, plant, a microbe whose DNA has been altered using genetic engineering techniques. Sounds familiar, right? Genetic engineering techniques. Well, this whole pandemic, if you will, was a means of introducing genetic engineering techniques. And once again, this is just for educational purposes, not to prove the fact of the matter. But this is what they put out there. All right? And it says, for thousands of years, humans have used breeding methods to modify organisms. Corn, cattle, even dogs have been selectively bred over generations to have certain desired traits. All right? So this devil is stopping at nothing. He is stopping at nothing. He's ramping up and bringing out all the tricks, man. bringing out all the tricks. So if you feel that you have been duped, chances are, you're going to be one of these genetically modified persons who has that nanotechnology, running through your body, if you will, to be controlled. And there was a couple articles that I read where it said they're going to be able to control your mind, control your actions, control your thoughts. All right? So be prepared. Like I said, a lot of you people want to just go ahead and take it and have taken it. And now you're going to start seeing what the consequences are. Now, segueing a little bit into Ezekiel 4:13. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I have driven them. All right? And everything is defiled. It mentioned in one of these articles, it mentioned, was it this one here? No, not that one. I believe it was this one here still. It mentions animals, how the animals have been eating genetically modified foods. All right? So whatever's running through their blood in their system is going to be consumed by the humans. All right? And not to mention just genetically modified animals. We read that even dogs have been genetically modified to acquire a particular trait. So there's no stopping them, man. You're going to have to try to choose the best of the worst foods on the planet. And right now, it's not looking good, man. Most of these farmers know it. Let me see. This is back from 2014. World Health Organization concerning food genetically modified. These questions and answers have been prepared by the WHO in response to questions and concerns from WHO member state governments with regards to the nature and safety of genetically modified foods. All right. So going back to May of 2014, it has always been an issue. But you know what happens? Through the process of time, as long as you don't keep it in the mainstream media, the masses are going to forget, man. The masses are going to truly forget. How many people think or how many people you think they're going to a restaurant and are concerned whether or not the salmon's genetically modified or the corn's genetically modified? Okay? Not many. And damn near everything that we consume has now been genetically modified. All right? Even to some of these high pH waters, man, are genetically modified. So it doesn't matter how you shake it. You can try to eat the best and the most healthiest shit on the planet. You can go to Whole Foods and spend $1,000 on the grocery bill. You still gonna get GMO foods. And that's me personally, I think that's one of the biggest, heists on the planet. These Whole Foods grocery stores. Right? But once again, I can't really prove that, but it's just my belief. All right? So, how are GM foods regulated nationally? Let's take a look at that. It says the way the government have regulated GM foods varies. In some countries, GM foods are not yet regulated. Countries which have legislation in place focus primarily on the assessments of risk for consumers' health. Yeah, everywhere but the United States of America. I believe the United States of America is the only country that is not obligated to disclose what type of ingredients are in certain foods, what type of dyes are being used in certain foods, and what type of, chemicals. And still, people just are blind to the fact that the majority of the food that you feed your children is poison. Okay? And it says, countries which have regulated provisions for GM foods usually also regulate GMOs in general, taking into account the health and environment risk as well as control and trade related issues such as potential testing and labeling regimes. You see? Potential testing and labeling regimes. So a lot of this shit they don't even test, man. They just throw it together and put it out there and put it on the shelves and have at it. And don't tell you what the hell is in this damn thing. It says, in view of the dynamic of the debate on GM foods, legislation is likely to continue to evolve. Yeah, I'm not going to read too much more of this, but you brothers know what it is. You truly know what it is. Read too much of that shit. World Health Organization, they're all devils. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Going back to this article was 10 GMO stocks to invest in now. Now I had looked this up because once I was listening to the lady talking about humans are now GMOs, it appears to me that once they fully succeed in implementing this whole, I don't know what to call it, but once they implement this whole, idea of genetically modified, people and the nanotechnology and all these other different facets of, variants and pokes and whatever, you people are gonna be like zombies, man. You're gonna be like zombies. And this is what they was talking about throughout the past, 10 years about a zombie apocalypse. You people gonna be running around like goddamn zombies. And then once you get sick enough, they're gonna off you. As you see in these so-called movies with these people running around like zombies. They have no problem putting slugs in people. All right? So I don't want to stray too far off the course here, but I'm about to wrap it with that. But all that being said, the video spoke for themselves. That digital currency, which is going to segue into the grain of rice, which is then going to, put forth, the ability for one to buy and sell. All right? And once again, to all you jokers out there who are, shucking and jiving and having a grand old fucking time, man. Laughing and laughing. This ain't the time to be laughing, man. From some of the articles I've been reading, some of the things I've been looking over and into, Esau's about to really ready to unfold this shit. And you niggas are not going to be laughing. The Lord's going to see to it. You ain't going to be laughing too much longer, man. And as I said earlier, you don't have shit to fight for. You don't have nothing to put your life on the line for. So therefore, you're going to follow suit like the sheep and the cattle that you are. All right? So Lord willing, brothers got a little edification off these 2 videos. And I'll see y'all with another show. I say shalom.